Okay, this is the front entrance to the guest cottage, and the issue that I'm highlighting with the guest cottage is that there is one, no storage area sort of directly outside what is the front door, and also if the weather's not been so good, people actually have to walk down through a muddy area to actually get to the front door, and there is no path or there is no steps, etc., etc. Obviously there is a slight area to here which comes around this way. So I believe at the moment there are two options that you can do. You could actually put in a proper pathway leading to this door, and you could take that path from here, follow it down in concrete and create it down there. My personal opinion is that's a little bit time consuming and also costly. And it also takes you into, I think, into the wrong part of the house or the guest cottage, because it immediately takes you into the closet area as such. I think a better idea would be to utilise this area where we already have some stepping stones that can be straightened up, put in place, etc., and then make the actual entrance into the guest cottage, say through this door here or through one of the front doors. My reasoning behind this is, let's say you have bad weather, you can come straight in, you can take your shoes off, leave your shoes over there down here by the door, and what you would need to do, or certainly on this door, would be to actually fit a proper door handle, so that it's a turning door handle, so that you can then open the doors and enter into the room. You could conversely do it on this door as well if you wished, although this one is a little bit smaller than the one around the corner. And I think the one around the corner is more suited because of its actual location. Take that in there, and then that could be one as well. Again, you would need to fit door handles there if you wanted to utilise that. You've also got a storage area out here, so bags, buckets, spades, boogie boards, whatever things you want to talk about, or that guests may have with them, they can be left out here without having to be taken into the house, and obviously bringing sand, etc., etc., into the house. This is the cupboard inside the closet area inside the guest cottage. The floor of the cupboard is rotten away completely and separated from the fixing points. Again, really, this should all be renewed and refitted so that the cupboard can be used properly. At the moment, it doesn't look very good, to say the least. And also possibly mount the fire extinguisher in a more accessible area, so that should there ever be an issue, at least people can get to it straight away. Okay, here we are outside of the guest cottage, and this is the fascia board here that now needs replacing. It's certainly rotten along here on this point and on this mounting point, and it looks a bit like it's separated somewhat up here as well, so I would suggest that that's replaced. The other side doesn't seem to be too bad. Inside here is where the roof has been, where we put a new part of the beam, and we also put the new roofing, and you can see here still to be done is a little bit of plastering up in here to tidy this area up and to clean this area up. But one of the things you can see obviously is that you have a great deal of discoloration, and this is one of the things I'm talking about here, of repainting the entire cottage, mainly in the yellow, also to redo all of the whitewash effect up in the ceilings as well, and again then will be also to paint inside of here as well, which all needs to be done at some point. There are also various holes in the walls down here in the corner of the door, corner over here, up here where the light fitting was, and again really the light fittings need to be put back and sorted out. Also, none of the hooks you see here are able to open the doors and leave the door open because they've become so corroded they don't fit anymore. So all these need cleaning, basically refitting and re-drilling to get them all sorted out. On the other side of the house, you can see here, we're starting to get the same problem that we have on the opposite side that we've now rectified. This side is nowhere near as bad yet, and I think could be treated a lot quicker and a lot easier. And again, this is another thing that I would recommend, that we get it done sooner rather than later. But it won't be anywhere near as big a job as the other one. Now we're going to move to the inside of the cottage. Okay, this is inside the dressing room, inside the actual guest cottage. And we have two breaks in the ceiling here. One here, where the beam has become exposed. Again, this is due to salt water and also most probably using salt sand to actually use in the construction. And then we also have one over here on this side as well. These both need to be obviously filled, sanded, repainted, and obviously cured as soon as possible. Again, in this area we've got a slight crack running along the wall here. Again, really that should be cleaned out and repaired as well. Down here we have the water tank, which is located in the cupboard here. And for some reason, I'm not quite sure why, the door has been placed on the outside. Really, the door should be taken off, proper mounting made, so the door can now be fitted back in and fit flush. Again, it's more of an aesthetic thing than a need to do, but that should be looked at. On the outside here in the main bedroom, again we have another large crack appearing up here in the top. Again, similar kind of thing, it would need to be chiselled out, cleaned, resealed, refilled and then painted. Inside the bathroom here, I have a large damp patch showing through on the wall. Again, the best thing here would be most probably to scrape all the paint off as best as possible, seal it with concrete sealer and then repaint it again in white. Okay, out here again, this is the pool room, which the door is binding down on the catch. And also up here above the light fitting, you can see we've got another very large crack appearing up into here. Gives some indication of size. The pen is sort of going partially into it. Same kind of thing, take the light fitting off, chisel out as much as possible, clean it, etc. Now on the corner of the wall where we had all the damp before, you can see the similar thing here. We've got very much flaking paint, etc., where the ingresses water has caused the dampness to come right the way through. I'm pretty confident this is now been, or will now be cured, once we put on the final coat of plaster on the repair of the wall. Again, we also have a couple of cracks inside the shower here, up in the ceiling in this part, and then we have one running along here. This is where it's caused the paint to blister and lift off. Okay, so that's the guest cottage. That's just about the worst of everything that there is, but generally it needs a very good tidy up. Okay, we have another area here. Again, this is in the same cupboard in the closet in the guest cottage. Here we have the electrical control panel, the isolator switch, etc. We have a mains cable coming in, which obviously needs to maybe be channeled in. But what you do have is, obviously you have a large hole here and also quite a large hole here. Again, what should happen, panels to be taken off, replastered, refilled, etc. This cable most probably at least find out where it goes and get it put away so it can be safely covered up and make it look a lot tidier than having great big gaping holes which spiders, insects, etc., can come in and out of as they choose.